U.S. Justice Department has fired Maurene Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey and a federal prosecutor in Manhattan. Maurene Comey worked on the cases against Sean Diddy Combs and Jeffrey Epstein. There was no specific reason given for her firing, according to media reports. Maurene Comey was a veteran lawyer in the Southern District of New York, long considered the most elite of the Justice Department's prosecution offices. Her cases included the sex trafficking prosecution of Epstein, who killed himself behind bars in 2019 as he was awaiting trial, and a recent case against Combs, which ended earlier this month with a mixed verdict. It's the latest move by the Justice Department to fire lawyers without explanation. This has raised alarm over a disregard for civil service protections designed to prevent terminations for political reasons. The Justice Department has also fired a number of prosecutors who worked on cases that have provoked President Donald Trump's ire. Maurene Comey was long seen as a potential target given her father's fraught relationship over the last decade with the Republican president. The Justice Department recently appeared to acknowledge the existence of an investigation into James Comey, though the basis for that inquiry is unclear. Her firing comes as Attorney General Pam Bondi faces intense criticism for the Justice Department's decision not to release any more evidence in the government's possession from Epstein's sex trafficking investigation. Some right-wing internet personalities like Laura Loomer, who have been critical of Bondi's handling of the Epstein files, had been calling for Maurene Comey's firing. James Comey was the FBI director when Trump took office in 2017. He was appointed by then-President Barack Obama and served before that as a senior Justice Department official in President George W. Bush's administration. But his relationship with Trump was strained from the start. FBI director resisted a request by Trump at a private dinner to pledge personal loyalty to the president.
I move the committee make an order amendment number 50 to H.R. 3633 offered by Representative Khanna, which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Madam Chair, on February 21st, 2025, President Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said on Fox News, the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, quote, right now to review, end quote. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, said during his confirmation hearing that he would do everything, if confirmed, to make sure the American people knew, quote, the full weight of what happened, end quote. Patel, who now leads the FBI, said on the Benny Johnson show that the FBI was hiding the Epstein client list. Donald Trump Jr., the president's own son, tweeted out, and I quote, show us all the Epstein client list right now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question, and then the answer becomes very apparent, end quote. And now, forgive me, but suddenly these same people are telling us there's nothing to see here. Trump is posting that we should all just move on. Well, I want to know what the hell is in these files. And I think we all want to know why Trump is suddenly changing his tune and is so desperate to sweep this under the rug. But you know what? This also gets at his credibility. This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both. They said that they stand with law enforcement. They won't even hang a plaque honoring officers for their heroism on January 6th. They talk about law and order and can't even condemn the president for pardoning the people who violently attacked the Capitol building. So please forgive me if I don't believe a word of any of it. This isn't about gotcha politics. It's about credibility, or rather the lack of credibility on the other side, because they constantly say one thing and do something else. So I urge a yes vote on my amendment, and I yield back.
Is there any further discussion on
Madam Chair, I fail to see how that amendment is germane to this rule.
And Madam Chair, we are the Rules Committee, and we routinely waive the rules of germaneness and make things in order.
This is about defense appropriations and crypto legislation.
Well, then you could vote no on
it. Mr. Scott, unfortunately, it is germane. Is there any further discussion on the amendment?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, you recognize.
Madam Chair, the Epstein files concern issues of abuse of women and abuse of children. You know, as the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, you often see me raising issues of we need to address this. And not only that, but Republicans and the MAGA world have said they want to know about this. your constituents want to know. So the question is, why are they not just releasing them? And I think it's a simple thing to do, and you're going to be asked to vote whether you require the release. That's going to be a simple vote. Will you require the release? Is there anything that needs to be hidden? If there isn't, then just release the files. Silence those who would question it. So every Republican on this committee should be able to easily vote yes. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Leisure-Fernandez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair, I'm
to.
kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fitchbach? No. Mrs. Fitchbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Yes. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez? Aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
Well, Madam.
Thank you.
Well, Madam Chair, I have another, and we'll try one more time at this. I don't have the same confidence you do, given the flip-flopping we've seen. I need a neck brace. I mean, they flip-flop so quickly and so rapidly. But I have another amendment to the rule. I move to add a new section to the rule which would provide for consideration of a resolution introduced by Representative Vesey, H-Res 577, which affirms Congress's Article 1 authority to conduct oversight, demands that the Trump administration release the Epstein files, calls on the Department of Justice and FBI to submit a report on any delays, suppression, or destruction of evidence related to the files, and supports full transparency and access to these documents in the interest of justice and accountability. This resolution shall be considered under a closed roll with 1 hour of debate equally divided and controlled by the Committee of the Judiciary. This is essentially a sense of Congress resolution. So if you believe that the administration should release what it has available, I think this should be an easy yes vote for everybody. And I yield back my time.
Madam
Is there
Chair.
further discussion? Mr. Norman?
You know, I debated on this, and I agree with Austin. This isn't germane. I was surprised that you ruled that it was. This isn't this isn't the body to do this. And it'll be borne out by the legal authorities and by the public. Now, I'm voting against your resolution because, you know, it'll be fine. Whatever this comes out, as time goes, we haven't heard all the information.
Well, this is definitely germane, by the way.
Well, I don't think it is. No, we're talking about crypto, Jim. We're talking about crypto, we're talking about regulations of, so I yield back.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Griffith?
if I might. Madam Chair, I understand under the very loose rules of germaneness that this House has, that this technically is germane.
Thank you.
But I have championed since coming to Congress that we have stricter germaneness rules, and this is a classic example. This is not in anybody's, I understand in our rules it is germane, so I'm not disagreeing with you or with the ranking member on the way it's been done. But I have advocated that we tighten up the germaneness rules because everything in the kitchen sink can be added in, and it's my understanding the reason this is germane is because in one of the bills that we took up tonight, there's a reference to the Department of Justice. And that's sufficient to bring this in. The American people understand that that doesn't make this the proper venue, and this doesn't make this the proper time to do it. And that's why I voted no on the last one, and that's why I'll vote no on this one. Because notwithstanding the fact that it may technically, because it touches one subject area, that touches one subject area, that touches one subject area. I mean, under this, everything under the sun is germane to this rule, I think that's an improper way to run this place. I have felt that way for the entire time I have been here, and I would be remiss in not continuing my campaign that we should tighten up the language if I didn't vote no on the gentleman's. It's nothing personal. It's just, I feel strongly on germaneness that we've got it wrong, and we've had it wrong probably for at least 50 years, and we need to tighten it up. And so I'm voting no, because whether it's technically germane or not is not the test I'm looking at. Would it meet Morgan Griffith's test of germaneness? Would it meet the Virginia House of Delegates' test of germaneness? Absolutely not. It would not. And would it meet the test of germaneness in most legislative bodies in this nation, in our state legislatures and other legislatures? It would not meet the test of germaneness. Only here in the United States House does it meet the test of germaneness, and I think that's ridiculous, and I apologize, I got carried away, but I'm voting no.
Madam Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Mr.
Yeah. Well,
McGovern, you're recognized.
First of all, let me respond to the gentleman. The previous measure we voted on was germane to one of the bills. This one is germane to the rule. And that you're offended that a rule contains many different topics, we have a defense appropriations bill, and we have crypto legislation. Talk about differences of, topics all in one rule. So this is totally germane to the rule. And I get it. You guys are twisting yourself into knots trying to find a way to avoid, dealing with this issue. And this is the kind of the lightest touch in terms of addressing the Epstein files. Basically, a sense of Congress resolution saying to the administration, explain yourself and release what you have. That's what this is. So this is germane to the rule, absolutely. And I would urge a yes vote on this.
I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Thank you for that.